Here's this, Joe. Two members of the Senate Judiciary Committee are requesting an investigation of another potential undisclosed meeting between Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. Another meeting.
Oh, my
alleged
Lord.
meeting,
are you kidding me?
No, took place on the sidelines of then-candidate Donald Trump's April 27, 2016 foreign policy speech in Washington, D.C. Sessions volunteered in his Senate confirmation hearing that he had not met with Russian officials. But when meetings with Kislyak at his office in September and at the Republican convention last July were revealed, Sessions said they were part of his official duties. Nor did he include the meetings on his security clearance forms, saying he was told that as a senator, he did not have to. CNN was first to report that congressional investigators were looking into the April 26th meeting at the Mayflower Hotel. And last night on MSNBC, Senator Al Franken revealed to Lawrence O'Donnell that he and Senator Patrick Leahy had heard about the meeting and sent a private letter asking then FBI Director James Comey to investigate.
Did you know about that meeting in the Mayflower when you sent that letter to the FBI director?
Yes, and now it had been characterized one way, but we had some reason to believe that that wasn't the case. It had been described in a way that he could plausibly say, I don't remember that. But what's coming out today, I believe, is that that may not be the case. And if this is true, that would be extremely disturbing.
So, Joe, Al Franken can remember a meeting that Jeff Sessions is just remembering now? Is that what it boils down to?
What it boils down to is that for some reason that we don't understand, that we don't know yet, but we will, because Bob Mueller's on the case, for some reason, they keep lying about meetings they have had with Russian officials. They keep forgetting meetings that they've had with Russian officials. Jeff Sessions actually removes himself from the Russian investigation because he did not tell the truth under oath. And then we find out that he had yet another meeting with a Russian official, this Kislyak. Why is it that they keep forgetting that they have a meeting with the most prominent Russian official in Washington, D.C., Willie Geist? I mean, again, we've been saying this for months now. If there is no there, then why do they keep lying about things that they could tell the truth about and be fine?
Well, it's possible that these meetings were innocuous and part of his duties, but if that's the case, why did you testify that they didn't happen under oath, forcing yourself to recuse yourself from this investigation into Russia? And then why did you only admit to the meetings after the Washington Post came out and reported them? Again, they create this world where they do things that raise suspicion. And if there's nothing there, then why do they continue to deny them? And when they know they're not true, Julie Pace, and this isn't the first time with Jeff Sessions. Who knows how many more of these meetings are? How could he sit in January the 10th at January the 20th in Congress and testify that they hadn't happened?
It's pretty baffling. And this extra meeting, this April meeting with Kislyak has been floating around for a little while. The Justice Department denies that it happened, but it's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt on this because we've seen this story play out so many times so far where a meeting pops up, it's denied, and then suddenly someone remembers that something happens. And, you know, Kislyak is not an unforgettable guy. If you met him, he's a big personality. He's well known around Washington in diplomatic circles, in political circles. And certainly now, if you are Jeff Sessions or anyone else who worked on the Trump campaign or is in the Trump White House, and you had a meeting with him or another Russian official, the best thing to do right now would probably be just put that out proactively, because these meetings will come out. The U.S. tracks Russian officials who are in the U.S.
Julie, why don't they put it out? This keeps happening over and over again. At some point, why doesn't a lawyer in the White House, why doesn't a political person in the White House call everybody together and say, hey, listen, this is how it ends. They always find out about our meetings, and when they find out about our meetings, it makes us look even guiltier. So why don't we put it all out there? I mean, we've seen, you talk about the drip effect of this. It's actually all of these lies that have actually turned our attention to the Russia scandal and makes it look like it really is a scandal, like they really are covering something up.
Absolutely, and that's what does make this so baffling. It would be cleaner and easier if you just had people, Jared Kushner, Sessions, whoever else may have had these meetings, just come out and put it on the table. Say, these were the conversations we had, this is what we discussed. If they are pretty innocuous, it's hard to imagine why a lawyer in the White House or now an outside counsel wouldn't recommend that. But for some reason, that doesn't happen, and it is the drip drip. It's the constant revelation and the fact that we only get confirmation from the administration after these stories get reported in the press that makes it particularly curious.
You know, what I would love a newspaper, and maybe they already have done this investigation. I haven't seen it, but Jeff Sessions, a guy from Alabama, that's not on a relevant committee, he armed services, but he wasn't on foreign affairs, suddenly is seeing the Russian ambassador all the time, the second he gets involved in Donald Trump's campaign. I would love to know.
But he can't remember.
How? He can't remember. I would love to know. Maybe he played football in Alabama. We play a lot of football down in the South. Maybe he got hit really hard one time, closed head injury type thing. Maybe that part of his brain's a little jogged right now.
Right.
But I would like that man right there. It would like investigators to dig in and see how many meetings he had with Russian ambassadors and Russian foreign ministers and Russian officials before he got involved in Donald Trump's campaign. Now, he's been in Washington for decades.
Right, and if it's part of his duties, then he would have been doing that.
He's been a senator for decades, so I hope the New York Times or the Washington Post or the Wall Street Journal or, great newspaper, I hope they'll just look into it and see how many times Jeff Sessions met with Russian officials starting the day before he got involved with Donald Trump.
Right.
And they could
going back all of his years.
And they could do a sidebar story, Joe, and whether Attorney General Sessions, how does he define the meaning of the word recusal?
Right, that too. That'd be good. We could find out. We'll work on it. Joe, still ahead.